What's up, guys? It's me, the ALE Double X Prince, here to give you my review of Iron Man 2. Yes, continuing the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This one is arguably the worst MCU movie, one of the worst. Some people say it's one of the worst superhero movies of all time. Really? One of the worst, like worse than it's up there with freaking the 2003 Hulk, Spider-Man 3, all the Fantastic Four movies. It's Origins Wolverine. It's worse than all of those. Not really. I think this movie was fine, but this movie has a pretty good amount of issues, to say the least. It's still enjoyable, not awful, but it's still pretty bad. Um, and basically, Jon Favreau was originally gonna it was gonna take him like 3 years to make this movie. They only gave him 2 years, and that was a rookie mistake on them. And afterwards, they had to fire Jon Favreau from the director's chair, and then they replaced him with Shane Black at Iron Man 3. So I'll get to that when I get to that. This movie basically it's about how Tony Stark creates Stark's Expo, and the CEO was Pepper Potts, who I didn't even mention about their. I didn't talk that much about their love story. In the first one, it kind of makes sense how like Tony like always had a crush on her because she was always with him, and this one, the chemistry that you see on the first Iron Man is still there. It's still pretty good. But basically, Sam Rockwell, who, funny enough, he was going to be Iron Man originally. Instead, they gave it to Robert Downey Jr., but he basically wants to start his own weapons, like, be the next Stark Industries. And that's when he gets Mickey Rourke, who plays a character named Ivan Vanko, basically Whiplash. For the comic fans, but Mickey Rourke was random as fuck. Basically, I don't know, his introduction was so freaking random. I mean, he starts in the beginning crying about his father and his dead bird and shit. But basically, he just wants to kill Iron Man for, the same terrorist attacks from the first movie. That's basically what I got out of it. But for some reason, this guy happens to be a tech genius who could make whips, and I don't know, it's just so fucking dumb. Now, watching this the first time I saw this in theaters, I thought this was better than the first one. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but damn, I was a really dumbass kid to be thinking that shit. With this movie, I think, yeah, it's pretty bad. Is it the worst one out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Probably, I would think so. I need to review all of them to finally get you like a full answer to what is in fact the worst one. Probably this one. I'll probably end up doing a ranking, but basically, Sam Rockwell and Mickey Rourke team up to make new weapons. In this movie, it's also popular for Terrence Howard being replaced by Don Cheadle. And he did a much better job. He was actually one of the bigger highlights of the show. Him as Rhodes was great, but as War Machine, it was kind of random because here's the thing: since Iron Man is just basically Tony Stark is just giving up, he's just doing whatever. He's throwing parties, getting drunk, pissing on bottles and shit. I didn't even mention this. We get introduced to Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, who, back in the day, back in 2010, we weren't part of this whole Me Too movement, none of this, like, women's right thing. So basically, everybody just thought Scarlett Johansson was a hot chick who could kick ass. And honestly, you could say that, and it's true, but this was probably her breakout role. If it wasn't for this, we wouldn't see her in the likes of freaking Ghost in the Shell and Lucy, which were terrible movies, but that's besides the point. We took Scarlett Johansson a lot more serious in this movie once we saw her beating the crap out of Happy Hogan, her getting undressed in the scene when she's like in the limousine, and Happy Hogan's like just looking in the back. That shit was funny. But yeah, I'll get more to like the whole connection to the Avengers later. But yeah, back to Don Cheadle. Um, so he steals Iron Man's silver suit, which he wanted to steal in the Terrence Howard one. They have a brief fight, but keep in mind, Don Cheadle, Rhodes, he has never worn the iron suit. So the fact that he could like pull this off, he's like a pro at this. It's just fucking random. Granted, I know Tony Stark was drunk, but even like you gotta have like some standards. Like, oh shit, like, it was just really random as hell. Eventually, when Tony Stark gets his ass kicked, he goes to get donuts, and that's when we see Samuel L. Jackson for the first time since the end credit scenes of the first Iron Man. He's like, "Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to exit donut," and basically he talks to Tony about the Avengers Initiative. Tony is off for it. He does not want to do this because he's not a team player. He has never been a team player. It's never worked out. And really, it's just that he finds out that Natasha Romanoff is actually Black Widow. And basically, this really felt really pointless. Unless if this is going to lead to like Nick Fury teaming up to take on Sam Rockwell and Whiplash, this was really, really pointless the more you think about it. But yeah, and also, Sam Rockwell in this movie was really, really fucking annoying. Introducing all the weapons, like this one I called the ex-wife, the ex-girlfriend, like, ugh. I don't know. Back in 2010, Sam Rockwell was really fucking annoying. I now like him a little bit more. He was great in the way back. I didn't like him that much in Three Billboards, but he did win Best Supporting Actor, so he's doing something right. But yeah, I don't know. Sam Rockwell really, really pissed me the fuck off in this movie, and thank God he didn't become Iron Man. It would have been a nightmare in hell. I don't even know what the hell would have happened to Downey Jr. Had he not gotten this role. Now that I think about it. But yeah, basically, Samuel Jackson talks to his dad. Talks to Tony Stark's dad. He basically like, I worked with him in the past and this and that. I got my eye on you. Basically, just jibber jabber. And all this really led to was Iron Man creating a silver triangle, which gave him even more powers. Now that I think about it, it's basically this. That's all it did. All this was a setup to make one big suit. One new suit for the Iron Man, and I have no idea what the hell they were thinking when they did this. It was just really dumb. I really didn't like it. So anyways, as Sam Rockwell, basically he does like his own industries. I forgot the name of it. And War Machine is now like the setup, and the other suits, they were supposed to be iron suits just like Iron Man, but instead they're actually just robots that created by Mickey Rourke. And sure enough, the suits go out of control. They attack the world, and they're basically about to explode at one point. Yeah, we get to the finale. War Machine and Iron Man team up for the first time. It was great to see them. I wish we got to see more of like Don Cheadle like practicing how to like use the suit. Scarlett Johansson had her breakout moment when she beats up all those bodyguards, and then like Happy Hogan, it took him forever to beat up one guy, and there's like 10 dudes on the ground already, and one's tied up to the ceiling. So it was just great gags. That was just cool. So really, this movie was pretty like bland. It wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it. It's still fun. Tony Stark is still charismatic. You get to see more of his backstory. That's great. We tease Captain America's shield, like some of it, like it's like kind of broken down, but they tease it. It sets up the Avengers well. yeah, that's basically all I gotta say about this movie. Also, the whole the whole interaction with Gary Shandling and Tony Stark and Rhodes, it was pretty weird. Like Gary Shandling was, I don't know, he was weird for the freaking senator. Also, it was also pretty funny to see um, basically Sam Rockwell's weapons mean nothing because when he shoots the little freaking missile, he shoots it at Whiplash, but his suit is too powerful. Like that was funny. Eventually, they beat the crap out of him. Like the whole fight with Iron Man and War Machine plays out at the end when they shoot each other's arms and they blow up. Um, and they basically kill off Mickey Rourke. Like, you want to talk about the DC universe killing people? These guys just fucking annihilated people. Eventually, we do get some proper like send offs with Pepper and Stark at the end. We set up the Avengers, like I said, and then the end credit scene was basically Thor's hammer being revealed. Basically, the scene from the movie Thor, which is I'll be talking about next. Basically, it's that. So overall, this movie was it wasn't bad. It was really pointless. Honestly, if you could skip any MCU movie, it's probably this one. It's pretty bad now that I think about it, but it's not as bad as like Origins Wolverine or Fantastic down the road. But this is by far probably the worst MCU movie. Yeah, that's my personal take on it. Yeah, it's me, the ALE double X Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I think the next review will be Thor, coming up soon. And until then, I'm out.